There's probably a lot to unpack from Wednesday's 10-4 loss to the Rockies, whether it's Mitch Keller starting off, you know, great before absolutely unraveling in the fifth inning, to the bullpen having some issues again, to the offense not maximizing against that Rockies bullpen. But today, I want to focus in on a reliever who I think does have a bright future in Pittsburgh, but the timing of his promotion, it did raise an eyebrow for me. Good morning and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf, and this is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. This offseason, one of the more aggressive things I think the Pirates did was protect a large batch of prospects from the Rule 5 draft. Like, I think a lot of people expected, as Merlin Valdez and a couple of those guys to be taken, but there were three relievers in particular that all got protected, and that's kind of unusual. And that's not even counting Wilber Dotel, who we have seen as a reliever in the major leagues, and Antoine Kelly, who is a starter right now for AAA Indianapolis, but there's a decent chance that he is going to go to the bullpen one day. He could definitely play out of there. But they added three guys. Ryan Harbin, who got hurt in spring training and was recently designated for assignment, but then re-signed a minor league deal with the Pirates, so he's just not on the 40-man roster anymore. Tyler Samaniego, who was in the trade with the Red Sox alongside Oviedo to acquire Garcia, that big acquiring password, that big trade. And then there was Brandan Bidois, who was their minor league reliever of the year in 2025, and justifiably so. He just ran the gamut up through the farm system, dominated at every level. It was one of the more impressive runs we've seen from a reliever in a while. And he comes with really good stuff and an arm angle that I'm going to talk more about or write more about for Book Roll Bucks. That's really unique. It's really high. And I think that offers a different look. And whenever you have a bullpen that has two really extreme arm angle guys in Justin Lawrence and Evan Sisk, who are side armors, adding someone from over the top is intriguing. It definitely gives the bullpen a lot of looks. And if you want to look at it from a pure technical standpoint, this is an interesting bullpen. Now, in Hollywood, interesting can sometimes be a softer word to say, like, yeah, I didn't really like it. Like, what'd you think of the movie? Yeah, it was an interesting flick. Me saying this is an interesting bullpen doesn't necessarily mean me saying, oh, it's a really good bullpen now. But no, it's different angles. There is a path where this bullpen can be productive. I think it needs external additions. We talked about that earlier this week. And you know what? This is an external addition. This is the best reliever prospect that they added to the roster last year. You call him up to the majors. I don't know if the timing was quite right, though. Because in Indianapolis, Bidois had a rough stretch. His ERA had ballooned to 7.20. Yeah, early season. It just takes a few bad outings for that ERA to get up and kind of stay up. So it's not like a August 7.20 ERA, but it is still a 7.20 ERA, a little bit of an eyebrow raise. And he made his debut on Wednesday. And he gave up a double, which was erased by a caught stealing, and then later gave up a home run. So some hard contact against the Rockies. Okay, it's a first outing. It's one. He's going to have plenty. I don't know if he was 100% ready for this yet, though. And I think this is kind of taking more into account the need that this bullpen has just for quality right-handed relief. This is a team that has Gregory Soto doing really well out of the left-hand side. Mason Montgomery is on a really hot streak, but really all the right-handers are having a rough go right now, with the exception probably of Isaac Matson, and even then, he did not have a good outing in San Francisco. Dennis Santana is slumping. Johan Santana, after a really good start, has had a couple rough outings. Justin Lawrence, he got lit up by his old team again on Wednesday. So this is a team that needs quality right-handed relief. And you can't really go to the trade market in mid-May. So this kind of strikes me as okay, we're going to throw something else up against the wall. We're going to call up the guy who was our best reliever last year. The way he finished last year, I would not have been surprised if he would have got the call up to Pittsburgh. It just how he pitched, it was pretty clear that he was going to be added to the roster. It was one of those mid-September, like, does he run the gamut? Does he start the year in low A Bradenton, albeit on a rehab assignment, and then finish in the majors? Just go hit up every affiliate along the way, every stop he could. He didn't, but he was still added to the roster. And even though he really didn't seem like he had much of a chance to make the opening day roster, it kind of felt like he is going to come up at some point. And now he's here. And it feels more like a team necessity than what is the idealized version of calling him up or idealized time. And you know what? Whenever you're young and you're a prospect, you can't really pick when the opportunity is. This is the need right now that the Pirates have. This is the opportunity. Of course you're going to take it. What you do with it, you find out. But 7.20 ERA is a little high. Some center cut balls on Wednesday. Maybe he's not as sharp and ready as he should be. But we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to tell you why I still do really like this pitcher.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Now, he might not be ready, and you have to take the opportunity. I do like a lot in the arsenal. It's mid-90s heat, but whenever you hit it from that arm angle, the perceived velocity is going to be a lot higher. This is a tunnel, a pitch flight that not a lot of hitters are going to see. And that could be like he's a one-trick pony. Yeah, I guess you could make an argument for that, but it's still mid-90s heat. It's still a slider with some drop. It's still a good enough repertoire, a pretty good repertoire. I don't want to say just good enough, like just all told, if he was throwing from the 3/4 arm slot that he had before, his Tommy John surgery, still, the stuff would probably still be major league worthy. But whenever you come from a high arm angle, it creates views that hitters aren't used to seeing. It can make them uncomfortable. And whenever he settles in a perfect world, that is what's going to make him effective. There just aren't too many guys who throw as high as he does. I probably should have confirmed before I started this, but I'm pretty sure it's like either him or Shea Spitzbarth for the highest arm angle we have ever seen out of a Pirate pitcher. Now, I get, okay, arm angle, why does that matter? It's because you don't know what's coming. You're not going to be able to settle in like normal. And whenever you have starting pitchers who are all going to be attacking from like a 20-something-ish arm angle in this rotation, going to a guy whose arm angle is going to be 60-something, 70-something degrees, you're not used to that. That could create an advantage for Bidois. You're not used to it. If you want to discredit it and be like, oh, that's just a freak show, okay, fine. It's still an at-bat you have to take. And whenever you have that, it could also open up a lane later in the game. You know, if a Justin Lawrence, or even if you just go to a Gregory Soto or Dennis Santana, it's like, that's also a different look. That's what the perfect version of this would be. That he is a good pitcher on his own merit with something that makes him unique, that makes him a unicorn, that not only helps him, but potentially helps the next pitcher that faces those batters later in the game. That is really what makes him intriguing more than anything. I mean, it looks almost like a cricket throw. I had to ask him today, like, you know, did you play cricket growing up? And he's like, no, he played a little in his backyard growing up in Australia, but that's not formally. He's not a bowler. He's not going to knock over the stump. You know, it's something that you don't see in the major league game. I think he has a bright future. He has something unique on top of good stuff. Does it help this team in May of 2026? That is yet to be seen. Because this is a bullpen, like we said, that just needs some dudes. Just needs some people to stand up. And it could be internal. It could be guys who have been in the major leagues all year. Whether it's Dennis Santana, you know, having a good outing or two and all of us be like, okay, yeah, he's back. It could be Yohan Ramirez stepping up. It could be Justin Lawrence. There's a lot of guys. It can be anyone who throws the ball with their right hand could make a really big impact in this bullpen just by stepping up and stringing together a couple good outings. Because this bullpen has had a rough go of it over the last couple weeks. And this is a team that can't afford to be throwing games away. Wednesday night, Mitch Keller had his own issues in the fifth inning that led to a 6-run inning. That was the issue there. That one was not on the bullpen. That was just a guy who was cruising, not finding the strike zone unless it was over the heart of the plate. But most of the time, the starting pitching has done its job. The bullpen needs to do more. And I don't know if Brandan Bidois is going to fix things here. It's an uphill climb. It's a pretty big swing, though. And it shows internally that the Pirates are taking this seriously and they are going to go with the best people that they feel are available and just hope they can rise to the challenge. But him alone doesn't change the fact that this bullpen needs help. It needs external additions. That's tough to do in mid-May, but you got to keep an eye on those markets because you can't wait till late July, early August to make those moves. Thank you so much for listening to OffBeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, whether it's on YouTube where you can see my smiley face or wherever you find a fine podcast if you just want the audio version. Thank you so much for listening. Friday's coming up. We'll talk again then.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.